For more on this, we're now joined by our SABC News journalist, Sintleng Lihihi, who has been covering the story quite extensively throughout the day. Sintle, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. Perhaps let's start off with the latest. I mean, you have been there practically all day. What's the latest coming out from this incident right now in Rustenburg?
Good evening to you and our viewers. Just a penny for your thoughts. Right now, it's about 9 o'clock. Yesterday, it had been, if we're counting this time, it will be 3 hours when the rescue operations of Impala would have begun. We understand that the incident happened at 6 p.m. and emergency rescue personnel were immediately deployed, and they continued on with their work until the early hours of this morning, 8 a.m. But to take you to what we saw unfolding today, we went to Impala Shaft 11. It was, bittersweet. It was an uneasy calm that we saw there. An opportunity to speak to workers who reiterated that, this was unexpected. The fear that they now have because such an incident has never been seen. For a conveyance that is transporting workers up and down the shaft to just plummet and claim 11. With at least now counting with the recent report given by Impala management, 14 in critical condition. We saw the Minister Gwede Mantashe also conduct a small in-local visit, trying to see the situation that unfolded, leading to the demise of these mine workers, and him actually participating in that press briefing with mine management, explaining that right now, it's a bit early for the full details to be unraveled. Let us indeed wait for investigations to unravel, for a full report to be given. Mine management saying, yes, indeed, we were aware of the safety concerns raised by workers, but many of these safety concerns had been addressed with quite a sizable injection in terms of finances into fixing any of the safety questions there. But those representing the mine workers being AMCU saying, perhaps this is time that we see the mines being called to actually account and perhaps being charged with culpable homicide for these unfortunate happenings.
And Sintle, you speak of that press briefing in which we saw earlier on in the day with the minister as well as the mining bosses, and we are told about this investigation which will now commence. Do we know exactly when this investigation is yet to take place, and how soon can we at least have a preliminary result?
It is not quite clear when the results of these investigations or when this investigation will be conducted. But what we heard as word from the Impala Platinum Mine management is that while they have an understanding of what went wrong, being that the belt connected to the conveyance snapped and then this conveyance plummeted, leading to this tragedy. But this was not anticipated. They say that this is not an incident that is usual in the mining sector. Their shaft runs at least 1,000 meters deep, and the safety protocols that were unleashed were expected to come in place and result in, an avoidance of this tragedy. So this has baffled both them and the workers.
But one would say that it continues to even raise, the issues here, Sintle, when it comes to health and safety in the mining sector. If they are saying that this is something that they didn't anticipate, but earlier on, the AMCU leader, Joseph Matunjo, saying that these concerns have been raised before.
Absolutely. They say the powers that be. There are platforms in areas where workers can express their concerns through their unions. But the unions are saying these concerns have been expressed, but little has been done to avoid these types of casualties. As I said, mines are saying, mine workers, unions are saying, indeed, the mines must be held accountable. We cannot have such tragedies continue to happen year after year. We get to a point where we think of these mines as living coffins that have claimed many workers, including those that are still left underground at Lily Mine.
And Sinclair, I'm sure, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to speak to some of the family members who have lost their loved ones earlier on today. I mean, what are they saying about this tragedy?
We're still trying our very best, communicating with the union representatives to speak to the families of those who have passed. We understand quite vaguely that some are from Lesotho, some are from the Eastern Cape, some are from Carltonville, and one is perhaps here from here in the Northwest. But the only families we had just a brief moment to speak to were families of those who have sustained injuries. They were unable to expatiate to us as to the details that they know about, the condition of their family members, but all they could tell us is that they are actually rushing to the hospitals that they've been informed that their beloved have been admitted, and they're going to go to their beloved to ascertain indeed the extent of their injuries and what should be the way forward from now.
And, talking about the way forward here in this regard with this mine, do we know that if operations are shut for now, do we know if whether operations will resume at all and if work will ever continue? Because, a number of people are employed by this mine.
Must remember that Impala is one of the major platinum producers here in this Rustenburg platinum belt. And what we have as a formal statement from them is that operations at Shaft 11 and Shaft 11C have been suspended. We don't understand until when, but this, as we understand, will be until investigations are concluded, awaiting also a final report that will give us a bit of understanding of what happened, what could have led to this tragedy, claiming 11 lives underground.
Cynthia, thank you so much for your time. And you've been working so hard covering the story and just giving us the latest update. That is our reporter, Cynthia Lihihi, there giving us an update on the Impala Platinum Mine. Of course, the loss of 11 lives in that regard. She says that we understand at least 14 of those mine workers are also in a critical condition.